Well, that was Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the Minister of Finance, talking about the state of the economy and, of course, in relation to the budget. And she says that the federal government may not be able to pay salaries by October if the standoff between the executive and the legislature is not resolved. Now, I'm being joined by Mazi Sam Ohabunwa. He is the chairman, Sam Ohabunwa Foundation for Economic Empowerment. He's also the former chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and the president, Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And of course, I have Mr. Oladele Nsu.
Comrade.
Oh, comrade. Comrade Oladele Nsu. He's the member, executive member of the Nigerian Labour Congress and, of course, the national president, National Union of Textile and Garment Workers. You're welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I'll take you first, Mr. Oladele. You heard the finance minister. Now, what came to your mind when you first heard that?
Yeah, let me, of course, I think I corrected it. I'm a comrade. I remain a comrade. Of course, if there's a stand-off between the legislative arm of the government and the executive, and she said salaries may not be paid. One thing she has not said is, whose salaries? I'm not sure she said worker salary. If that's what she meant, I'm not sure she meant that. Because there are salaries for political office holders. Are they equally included? I think we need some clarification here.
Oh, well, that's a good point. Well, I take you off from there, Mazi. What's your take on that?
I believe that it's unnecessary dissipation of energy. This country needs to utilize all the energy, all the effort we have to push the economic agenda. We're a country in a hurry to catch up with the rest of the world by our own determined and declared Vision 2020. And I have said that part of the problem is that not all of us have bought into the vision. You know, many people are playing at different levels, and therefore we're not pushing in one direction. Because if we were, this matter shouldn't blow up this way. If the government has stated its budget and its needs, the executive and sends it to the National Assembly, if there is a reason for refusal to approve, that reason must be justified. But for now, I'm not seeing that reason. All I'm hearing is that we have approved the budget, and you know, we don't have the time to look at the voluminous budget you are bringing back. And the people are saying we don't have enough money to pay salaries. We don't want to disrupt, whether it's a salary of public office holders, whether it's salary of workers, civil servants, whoever. Salary is salary. We have hired everybody, whether public servants and civil servants, and there should be nothing to disrupt the salaries. That, for me, I think it's a straightforward thing, and which should have been resolved before it gets to the level where issues or where there are possibilities of standoff.
Okay. Now, before I take you on that, Mr. Oladele.
Comrade.
Comrade Oladele, pardon me. I believe that in preparing the budget, stakeholders are consulted and they make their contributions. What has been the contribution of the Nigerian Labour to, the federal budget?
Yeah, in fact, you are talking of an ideal situation. When you say stakeholders are consulted, I'm not sure Labour is consulted. I'm not sure Labour has input in the budget. Over the years, for the past 50 years now, of course, it has become an annual ritual where budget, of course, major states the projected income of the country, the expenditure, how do you hope to spend the money. I think this ordinarily what budget means. But when you talk of what stakeholders contribute, I am not sure Labour has ever been consulted in preparing the budget. And even if you look at the budget, over the years, the critical sector of the economy, which is the real sector of the economy, has been neglected. I was going through the breakdown of the budgets recently, and I discovered that there was no space for the real sector of the economy. It was not even mentioned. What is the employment projection of the government? It's not in the budget. Security took a chunk of the budget. Agriculture, which has the potential, given the value chain, to employ more Nigerians, got one of the least allocation. So, even the office of the NSC, go through the budget breakdown, has more than even the education sector and the agricultural sector. So what are we talking about? So in terms of consultation, input, I'm not sure we had input in the budget. That's why sometimes when budgets are read, we just see it as part of the annual ritual from the government. And over the years, have we been able to assess the government in terms of transparency? Budgets are read, of course, and everybody goes to sleep. In another developed economy, as the year runs by, there's avenue for people to really see how the budget is performing. There's need for evaluation. How is the budget performing? How far have you gone? Those critical sectors you hope to target, how have they fared? But here it's just, you announce the budget. The standoff, which I don't want to be involved in, and we don't want to get involved in the executive and legislatures, whatever. They know where they are coming from. You understand? But nobody is telling Nigerians why the standoff. And honestly, we don't want to delve into that. But what that concerns us is nobody dare say workers. And I don't want to put words into the finance minister's mouth. So I just keep it that way. That's what I asked. Salaries may not be paid. Whose salary?
The Nigerian labor salaries, perhaps. Anyway, Mazi, the presidency in the amendment bill is seeking that the monies carried out from the salary category, into other subheads be restored. And members of the House are saying that their interest, however, is to ensure that developmental projects are executed, where perhaps those monies, I believe that's perhaps where those monies have gone to. Who is right here?
Well, I believe that many of us have continued to recommend over years that the level of recurrent expenditure vis-a-vis capital expenditure is not good enough for our economy, where we had in about 10 years ago, recurrent expenditure was like 40% of our budget and capital was 60. Now we have come to the point where recurrent expenditure has exceeded 70%. In fact, in 2012, it was about 72%. Now in 2013, effort had been made to reduce it a little bit because government itself came to the realization that they cannot continue to run a budget where, as I said in my write-up last Saturday, it's like a farmer eating up his seed, not replanting it. And I said the fate of that farmer will be known very soon if he eats his seed without replanting it. So, and I believe that that has informed some of the measures government is doing. The Oransaye Committee, for example, was set up to be able to see how they can merge some departments or agencies and save costs so that that cost can be reapplied to capital. So we all agreed on that. But it is not going to happen just by fiat. You have to properly, even if you have to ease people out of employment, it has to be done, as I've suggested, it has to be done in a phased manner so that if you've merged two institutions, then you decide what you're going to do with excess staff, either to train them, redeploy them, without throwing them out of the labor market, because the social issues are already on our hands. Unemployment is very high, and train anybody into the labor market will worsen our situation at this time. So it should be a phased thing, and people should be redeployed and retrained, and some should be given entrepreneurial training and supported by government to set up their businesses. But until that is done, if people are in employment, and I still state that whether they are unionized or not unionized, they are Nigerians, and there is a labor relationship. We have Ministry of Labor and Productivity. They have a responsibility for ensuring that labor issues are taken to the budget. Health Ministry is supposed to take sure that health issues are taken to the budget. That's why those ministries exist. And they have informal methods of of involving, they may not have consulted all stakeholders. But right now,